now 6:37 p.m. Thank you for your patience. This is the Lower Saucon Township Council meeting, August 19th. Can we have a informational statement from the manager?
Thank you. Couple of items. This meeting is being taped and broadcast live over YouTube, so the tape will be available for future viewing. Also, on the agenda tonight, there was a grant application for a drone for the Lower Saucon Police Department. Once we start the formal part of the business, there should be a motion to remove that from the agenda and substitute the resolution for the purchasing of 5 speedboard to be deployed throughout the township. So there'd be 2 motions, one to remove the drone one, and the second one to add the speedboards.
I hate to say it, but it'd be nice if you spoke up, talked into the microphone so that we can all understand you and hear you instead of mumbling.
Is there a statement from the solicitor at this time?
Yes. In anticipation of public comment, and as we all are aware, public comment is an opportunity for the public to provide their views with regard to agenda items at the appropriate time and non-agenda items at the appropriate time. Rather than having some unanswered questions, we thought it would make sense to address a couple issues in advance. There have been some preliminary discussions between, this first one relates to fire and fire, Lower Saucon Fire Rescue in the borough of Howardtown. There have been some preliminary discussions between the borough and borough's representatives and Lower Saucon Township and Lower Saucon Township representatives with regard to providing fire services to Howardtown residents. This stage is very preliminary, very informal, and if and when a concrete proposal is ready for council's review, it will be brought before Township Council at that point for review, comment, and possible approval. But it's not on today's agenda, and it may or may not appear on a future agenda. In addition, separate and apart from the fire issues, there was some issues in the media with regard to a survey. There was a survey that was distributed by the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission, and for clarification purposes, it was not drafted by the township, and we wanted to make that clear before anything else happened. So those are the 2 things for informational purposes. In addition, prior to tonight's meeting, there was an executive session, which I can address now, which is on 1E. We did have an executive session. There were some contract negotiation discussions. No official action took place at that time.
Thank you very much. I think what I'm going to do is roll call and pledge of allegiance, and then I will move forward with the swap of resolution motion after that. So can I have a roll call, Stacy?
Mr. Dress?
Yeah, here.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Here.
Ms. Altaf Cordero?
Here.
Ms. Ray? Here. And Ms. De Leon is absent this evening.
Can everyone please rise for the
sorry. I just wanted to see who else is here.
Oh, go ahead.
Also present is our manager, Jay Finnegan, our township engineer, Brian Cucker, our zoning officer, Tyler Mitch, our chief of police, Bart is also present, and our township solicitor, Mr. Gazuzian, and myself, Stacy Werkheiser.
Thank you very much. Can everyone please rise for the pledge of allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to entertain a motion to remove Resolution 63-2026 that had been advertised, indicating that the Northfield Public Safety Grant application would be submitted for the purchase of a police unarmed aerial device drone. Is there a motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Can we have a roll call on that, Stacey?
Ms. De Leon is absent. Mr. Dress?
No.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Ms. Altaf Cordero?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-1.
And I would like to make a motion to add Resolution 63-2026, which council has before them, which would ask for the 2026 Norfolk Public Safety Grant application to Northampton County Community Economic Development for the purchase of 5 solar-powered TC 600 radar speed signs with a 2-year warranty for Lower Saucon Township Police Department. Do I have a motion on that?
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a roll call, Stacy, on that.
Mr. Heinebecker,
Yes.
Ms. Altough Cordero,
Yes.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Gress.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
So then, just for clarification purposes, when we get to that item on the agenda, would we vote again to pass the resolution after public comment? Yes. Okay. Moving next, we talked about executive session. Junior council members will start in September. I know we have a number of applications, I believe. But if you are interested or know anybody interested, we have a Boy Scout here tonight, so please tell your colleagues. If anybody's interested in being a junior council person, we accept applications for that. That would be to come to council meetings and present information about what's going on in the community, at the high school, or other activities, athletics, and events that you partake in. You can not only be a junior council member for the council, but also on different committees. So we have a planning commission, which deals with developer items that come before the township. You can participate in those committees. Also, EAC has always historically had a junior council person join the EAC, which handles review of environmental issues and the open space applications that come forward. So I would encourage any young members of our community to apply for the junior council positions. I don't know that we've ever rejected an application. So I do welcome that. It's great for your resume. Public comment procedure, everybody has that out front, but typically what we happen after presentations, we will have public comment on agenda items. You are limited to 3 minutes to speak. It is a comment period, so if you have questions, we do ask you to direct those to the manager or to one of us outside of a council meeting, but your 3 minutes is your time to comment on public agenda items. We also have a second public comment period at the end of council meetings that you can comment not only on what's on the agenda after we vote, but then also on any public concern that you have that you would like to bring to our attention. So that's our public comment procedure. You can get the full-fledged out in the hallway if you are so inclined to read it. And next I will move to presentations. I welcome the Boy Scout to come on board. You want to sit at the table. There's a round table right here. You can turn on the mic that's in front of you. We'll have Stacy help you with that, and you can explain what's going on with this proposal for bat boxes.
Can everyone hear me? Guys, thank you.
If you could just speak up, because sometimes the sound goes up and not back.
All right, is this
That's
better?
good,
All right,
yes.
thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am Sean Jevich. I'm currently going to 11th grade at Saucon Valley High School. I am a Boy Scout Troop 191. I'm currently working on my Eagle Scout, and I came here today to present my proposal on a bat box Eagle Scout project. So why bat boxes? Within the past 20 years, white nose syndrome has devastated the local bat population. Some experts estimate that 99% of the population has been wiped out. And bat boxes provide a safe home and community for them to breed and rebuild the population. I'm proposing putting 2 posts in Southeastern Park. Each of them will have 2 bat boxes on either side. This is because bat boxes are warmed by the sun, and the bats need a warm environment, especially in the cold fall months or the cold spring months. And the bats are very important to our community for a few reasons. Number one, a singular bat is estimated to eat between 1,000, 1,200 insects per hour. And these insects don't just, they're not just insects that bite you or that fly around and annoy you. They're insects that are harmful to the environment. Defoliating butterflies and wood-borne beetles are very dangerous to local tree populations, and bats are a non-chemical way and environmentally friendly way to keep these populations low. On the map presented in front of you, should be 5 locations I have opted that I think would be best for these bat boxes to go. These locations are based upon resources that they need, such as the closest water source, and their distance from tree lines. Bats need to be within 200 yards of water source in order to stay alive, and they also need to be around 20 feet away from any tree line to protect them from predators such as owls or like low staking predators such as foxes. These bat boxes will be 2 feet wide and 3 feet tall. Each one is can hold 250 bats. It is a 7-layer bat box, so there's 7 different slots for them to stay in. These will be posted on 2 metal poles that will be cemented into the ground. Each pole will be 16 feet tall in order for them to give them proper distance to fly. In order to achieve this project, I started researching a couple months ago. Me, my dad, and a advisor, a carpenter, built a example bat box and presented it to Jay Finnegan. And we learned a lot from that. We learned how long it took to build it, how hard it'd be, how much it cost, and it gave us a good idea of what it'd be like to build one. How I'm planning on building them is I'm going to accept volunteer requests from inside my troop and my friends and my family. There are several proposed dates on this timeline. I propose building this in September and then posting it in October. For fundraising, I'm going to go to local businesses such as hardware stores, funeral homes, and chains like Jersey Mike's for donations, gift cards with materials. And I would like to ask the board for help posting the bat boxes into the ground. Are there any questions?
Thank you very much for putting this together. I can say, I think it's wonderful that you're put so much effort into this, and I appreciate your family. I think that's your mom sitting with you today, so she must be very proud. So I think that this is a wonderful thing for the township. I know we do have bats in the township a lot, and I think that that location at Southeastern would be an ideal place, one of the more rural areas of our community. So I think, have you gone out there to see what the bat population is like? Do you have any idea of whether it would attract bats there?
We live 5 minutes away from it, so we live in a very close spot. I actually went to summer camp there when I was little. And when I was a kid, I would go outside and I could see 20, 30 bats flying around outside. And now when I go out, I see maybe 1 or 2. The population has really gone down. It's obvious just if you go out and look at it. I do believe that putting these bat boxes here will give them a place to rebuild the population.
Okay. Does any other member of council have a question or comments for him about the project?
I'll make comments. I mean, I think it's a fantastic project. I love the idea, and I think Southeastern Park's a perfect place. And you had mentioned possibly needing some help to get them placed, because I'm not sure how high up bat boxes go, or if there's a recommended height, but I would think Public Works might have a high reach or something that might be helpful.
Public Works will be more than willing to assist in getting the stakes post put in.
I'm assuming Jay
Other
already.
than climbing a tree with a ladder or something.
You mount it to the post and then put it in the ground?
Yeah, so from what research I've done, it would be digging the hole, and then on the ground you lay down the post, You attach both the bad boxes to the side, and then you put it up all together. It wouldn't be like putting up the pole then putting them on. It'd be putting it up as one piece.
That's pretty tall, right? 'Cause
Uh,
16 feet, you said?
Yeah, it'd be around 16 feet. I think 2 feet has to go into the ground just to keep it stable. But the bats do need like between 10 and 12 feet to like drop and clear the ground before they start flying.
I think there's a big one out in, by the schoolhouse. I believe it's still there. A very large bat house that was put in years ago.
Is it occupied?
I don't know, I never.
Have you used the
I
same?
never went there at night.
We haven't gotten a chance to put it up yet. We just constructed it for like seeing if it would work, seeing if this was a recent project.
Are you going to use that one in this project for the installation?
No, we're gonna build 4 separate ones, and we're just gonna put this one up, like maybe in our own backyard or something like that.
Okay. With Public Works consideration, is there any concern with location regarding mowing or maintenance of the park?
Not only did Sean meet with myself, he also met with Roger, and the location of this whole project is fully supported by the Public Works Department, and we're going to have not interrupt or disrupt any of the services.
Okay,
by
great.
Public Works.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea. I'm really proud of you for bringing it forward.
Thank you.
It's really impressive, and if you want to I'm pretty close to Southeastern myself, so if you want to get them up and running so they can eat all the little no-see-ums and mosquitoes that are flying around and biting me on my neck right now, I appreciate it. I'll borrow your bats for a day, okay? Or a night, I should say.
My only question was going to be about the installation. I saw you having your timeline here to be determined. But with your presentation, you said about Public Works being able to assist you, and I think that's an excellent use of that. I really have no questions. I think it's a great project. I think it's incredible that you're putting this before us, and I know I've seen myself a number of times at the schoolhouse, bats nesting behind the shutters of the schoolhouse, which is not a great place for them. So this would be great to get them proper habitat and get them somewhere where they can help bring back that bat population and deal with the bugs.
How many bats is it supposed to maybe be able to hold?
Each box can hold like around 250 bats.
250?
250.
250 bats per box.
Yeah, but that's like maximum capacity.
Okay.
And most of the time it's they kind of split between the boxes because they need to stay warm, so you obviously like they group together. But if it's like a hot summer day, they disperse and they split between the boxes because if it's too hot, it can actually kill the bats.
I appreciate it. I think historically, the township has also worked closely with our Boy Scout, Eagle Scout applications. Like if you have trouble fundraising, please alert us. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. I believe the township helped defray the cost of that, because we would not want that to be a detriment or an impediment for you to accomplish what you're looking for. So we don't have the cost, I don't think we have it on tonight's agenda, but if there is a need, I would like the township to make sure that we help you in that regard on a future agenda if we have to approve the expense. So I just wanted to say that, and then as far as the motion, we haven't had public comment yet, so what we're gonna do is have public comment on all of the agenda items, which has to happen before we vote on anything. So we're gonna vote on this right after public comment. So you're welcome to stay for that vote. You don't have to stay. I think I can say based upon the comments I just heard that you are supported with everybody sitting here. So I don't have any further questions or comments, but thank you again for bringing this forward, and stay tuned for the vote if you'd like to.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you can just, yeah. I'm now going to turn to the public comment section of the agenda as indicated. If you have any comments on agenda items, now is your time to speak. So if you'd like to please come to the podium and identify yourself, and we'll take whoever wants to go first, if you have comments. Going once, twice, 2 people, okay. Go ahead, sir. If you need help, do you want to stay seated?
No,
Okay, because we can accommodate you. You don't have to stand.
thank you. So just start.
Yep, and say your name, please.
Carlos Roman. I normally never talk at these things, and it's unrelated to why I'm here. I'm just moved by what he said. I own a construction company. It's not local. It's in Stroudsburg. We do a lot of hotel remodels. I have a ton of leftover material that can help with this project, especially hardware. Additionally, I'm a managed account for Home Depot. We do large numbers with them every year. So he's welcome to use my preferred pricing if it helps. That's about it. If he leaves before this is over, just try to get my number. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment. I normally do not respond after comments if it's just but I would encourage you to connect with him so he can help you with your project to the Boy Scouts. Anybody else?
Dave Luann, Lower Saucon, Alice Drive. I just had some comments on the agenda here. I find it disconcerting because I've asked several times. Example, public hearing. Are we going to be allowed to talk at item 4, the public hearing, or do we just hear? Can you clarify that going forward?
There's an opportunity for public comment during the hearing.
And that will be announced?
Yes.
Good. Thank you very much. All right. The other thing that I was interested in is talking about the ordinances. I see many times these are like 20, 25 pages. Here we've got an ordinance we've updated. I've asked many times, could you please simply strike out what you do not want and add what you do want, so we don't have to go back to the old ordinance and compare it to the new ordinance and spend hours on end trying to figure out what was moved where. Now, I know that's very easy with Microsoft. Okay, St. Luke's, item 5C. Why are we running the primary and the final together and having them give us an extension order to do that? Seems to me you catch errors at both. Maybe somebody could explain that at some point. I know you don't like to talk during these things. Lower Saucon Fire and Rescue. Bottom line is it says, and land development. What the blaze is this? I thought we had a fire company here. What is this land development section? I also understand from the solicitor at Hellertown that there were talks going on between this council and their council. So stated. I have to review that, but I will. The other was the update of the map. Thank you for updating our map. I hope that is a map that's expandable, so when we pull it up on computer, we can see all the details like many other maps. And again, maybe showing the old with the new, so we know what has changed without trying to kill ourselves. Finally, stormwater management. Here we go. Off 137. There's no highlights, no strikeouts on that. What's the difference between what's being proposed and what we're getting? EAC, by the way, in 6D has rejected this property ID. And finally, I'll talk the last 3 minutes when I get a minute to think about it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Next person, please.
Hello, Mark Osmek, Bennington Road, Lower Saucon Township. And no, I didn't bother reviewing any of this. I was at home doing other stuff. To my understanding, a while back, the Lower Saucon Fire Rescue Land Development, I would imagine this is for the Southeastern Fire Company. And to my understanding, it was to begin as a section of the building to be repaired or rebuilt to hold the new fire engine that's too big to go in any other firehouses. And now I seen somewhere that you pretty much want to knock the whole thing down and start over. That's gonna make quite a difference in cost. Next one. There was something on here I seen about the international zoning stuff. Seen it on the computer when I was looking before I came over. But you don't need a board for international zoning. You don't need international zoning. We're Americans, we live in America. I have no idea what you people are thinking. I really don't. I know when you said it in the first place, it's so that you can confiscate houses easier. Well, you know what? If you do that to residents in your township, you're wrong. Instead of bending over backwards to try and help them. So you should reconsider that. You should take that and half the zoning book and probably chuck it out the window and hire our own zoning officer. Maybe you can talk Jimmy into coming back. So, yep, there it was. It was letter E. 60, IPMC Board of Appeals. Nonsense, just nonsense. And the garbage thing I was reading back there. So if something is on your yard for a year, it's termed like rubbish and ignored or something. I forget what it said. But that's also nonsense. The next thing you're gonna do is tell people how much toilet paper they can use to wipe their ass when they go to the bathroom. I read it. It's absurdly long and it's absurdly stupid.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else would like to speak on agenda items? Going once, going twice. Okay, I am moving on to hearings. The first public hearing to consider adoption of proposed municipal solid waste recycling and waste reduction ordinance. I will turn it over to Steve.
Do we want to do the Eagle Scout book?
Oh, yes, thank you. I said I was gonna do it. Okay, so can I have a motion to approve the Eagle Scout project at Southeastern Park?
So moved. I moved.
Let Laura have it.
Okay. Is there a second yet?
I'll second it.
Okay, so first is Laura, second is Hunter. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Heimbach,
Yes.
Ms. Altough Cordero,
Yes.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Grass.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
You're
reminding me.
welcome.
And now I will turn it over to Steve to do the hearing on the municipal solid waste recycling ordinance.
Yes, this is the, as indicated, the ordinance for Lower Saucon Municipal Solid Waste Ordinance. It has been properly advertised and it's ready for a hearing. The first step is to have a motion to open the hearing. Somebody like to make that motion?
I will make that motion.
Somebody like to second that motion?
I'll second that motion.
Steve, when you're ready, we have a roll call.
Ms. Altough Cordero,
Yes.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Grass,
Yes.
Mr. Heimbach.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
As noted, it has been properly advertised. There's a draft that's in the packet and provided. At this point, we are ready for any public comment. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on this ordinance? If there is, we would ask, since there's a court stenographer, for you identify your name, and if your name is difficult to spell it please for the report. Is there anyone from the public who would like to be heard? I'm not hearing anyone? Sir?
David Ulan, 2025 Alice Drive, Lower Saucon. Bethlehem. Okay. Yeah, I had some comments on it, long and winded, and I can't tell what's different from the old and the new. I made that statement before and I make it again. The other thing I'd like to know is who drafts these things. I'd be very much interested to know who does this within our township. I assume perhaps Mr. Caduzian, perhaps it's lifted. It'd be nice to know, see what the origins of these things are. I think Mr. Ozimic had some really good points there. I'm reading through it about things like leaves and whatnot, and what we're going to do with them. You know, somebody made a statement here at the previous meeting, council meeting, that they don't know what to do with the recyclables. They take them to Allentown. It was a council member, no more. And the bottom line is, I found out you don't have to go there. Just go right over here to the Bethlehem landfill, and by goodness, they'll take your recyclables. So some of these things seem to be extraneous in this document, which I've not seen before, tonight. And I'm glad to have a hearing on it. But excuse me, I think it requires a great deal more work than we're seeing here. It seems to go overboard. And by the way, my company, which hauls trash, is Reese Hauling. They've been taking my sorted recyclables for years, probably 2 decades, okay? So I want to put that on the record, that whoever was saying that people don't, recycle, and we need all these really, tough laws, and you can't burn leaves and whatever, that's hokum. And I wish the people that make those statements would back them up with facts where they hear them from, all right? Because this is crazy. There are a lot more I can say, but I will not, because I didn't have real detailed time to read this. It's very long, and I'm glad you're having a public hearing. I don't know, most people, they sort of watch this, they go, well, we're gonna get it whether we like it or not. So I don't take that attitude. Thank you very much.
Mark Ozimek, Lower Saucon Township, O-Z-I-M-E-K. As I was reading through this, and I didn't highlight anything, it's like you're making a mountain out of garbage. I mean, some of this stuff that's in here that I'm looking through is just container preparation in containers that are approved by council. You're going to come over to my house and approve my garbage cans? And I don't recycle anything. I put my garbage out. I get about a bag a week we make from the grocery store. All the rest of our recycling, Alex Mill Road gets it. But I'm not going to tell you that. I want you to think I'm bad. But this is absurd. What's the matter with leaving leaves in your yard to rot and decompose and grow the grass? What's the matter with burning them? I got 2 piles of trees in my yard I need to burn yet that I've been putting off for like 2 years. It seems to me like council is just trying to come up with things that they can throw onto society, and at the end of the year say, there it is, look what we did. Even though it might be absurd. So how much of it is beneficial to the taxpayers? And the way I'm reading some of this, the last time we had a discussion about this, I was under the impression, because I can go back and find it, somebody questioned it, and I think it was Hunter that asked it, this was all for businesses. So is it all just for the garbage collection businesses, or does it include the public like me and everybody else sitting in this room? Because that also creates more problems for 11,000 plus residents, or some of them that aren't up to par on what's going on. So I would take this and I would strike it down, just like the international zoning thing. You all have a nice night.
Is there anyone else for the public? With that, there's no more public discussion or public comment. Is there any council discussion? As you may recall, this has been brought before council and discussed in prior meetings. Is there anything that anybody would like to add?
I would just like to reiterate that we are updating our township ordinances to reflect the mandate by the state, which requires that we have an ordinance if we have a population, I believe, over 10,000.
Correct. There's a statutory requirement to have such an ordinance.
So I wanted to reiterate that, and I think that it's an appropriate and responsible thing to do for our community to comply with the state regulations and to move our township forward. That's it.
I do have a comment. To follow up on what you said, Madam Chair, this is in compliance with the Pennsylvania Municipal Waste Planning, Recycling, and Waste Reduction Act passed by the legislature and signed into law by the governor in 1988. It is mandated by the state that municipalities over 10,000 residents have this chapter in their code of ordinances. Additionally, I took the liberty of sending letters and the draft of the ordinance to the 23 haulers that operate within the township and are registered with the township. Received a call from one stating that they were 100% in favor of this ordinance passages, and that asked anyone else that had any comments to get it in by last Friday. So 23 organizations received the letter with the ordinance, with obviously no concerns, or they would have contacted us. And the one that contacted us is 100% in support of this township adopting this ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Finnegan.
I'll make a comment or feedback then on the leaf, just to make it clear. There's nothing here that says you can't leave your leaves stay in your yard to compost there. That's actually preferred.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. So what's not allowed is you're not supposed to put your leaves in with your trash to go to the landfill. So compost them yourself or take them to the compost center. So that's all I wanted to clarify on that.
Jay, just to reiterate what you said, essentially, because of the size of our township, we have to pass this or something of this nature, or else we could, in theory, be on the hook legally for not complying with the state's mandate, correct?
Correct, and the haulers that operate in the township should already be doing this, so it should not be a burden on them because they're required by statute under their own operating licenses.
In your, you have much more expertise and experience with local government than I do. In your experience,
You call me old?
in a polite way, yes. In your expertise, though, have you seen ordinances like this adversely affect residents at all, if ever?
Not that I'm aware of.
Thank you.
If there's no other comments, I would entertain, or I'd ask somebody to make a motion to close the hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I've said all that I could possibly say at this point about this. On the EAC, which are public sessions, we also provide public comment at the Environmental Advisory Committee meetings that are held on the second Tuesday of every month. So for the residents who feel like they don't have the opportunity to speak, this has been presented and put forth numerous times here in council and other subcommittees that you could have attended. As iterated, this is to comply with Act 101, and the language as written helps move this in our community forward to help reduce the solid waste and improve recycling, which personally, again, my own experiences anecdotally, having difficulty, my hauler was not providing separate containers and commingling both trash and recycling. And I've heard a number of complaints from residents brought forth to the EAC and myself that other haulers were also commingling waste. So moving this resolution or this ordinance forward will help clean that up. And I'm also looking forward to some of the other aspects of this where we have education opportunities, whether we're talking about the school district and what kind of recycling options that they have there for the students as well, and a recycling coordinator that can help for education and distribution of materials and enforcement as well, ultimately, because that's what it comes down to. If you just want to throw all your trash together and have it fill up the landfill, I don't think that that's something that we should support. I don't personally. So I'd like to live in a clean community without waste all over the place. And this also addresses a long-standing issue of dumping. We are a rural community, and I know over on the eastern side, near Reddington Road, that there are often vehicles that come out and dump materials. I've cleaned them up myself. Statistically, I have some numbers here just so you understand what we're looking at. We have adopt a road programs in the township. This spring, 78 volunteers donated 61 hours of their time to clean up 57 bags of garbage along our roadways. Okay? That's our community coming together to keep ourselves clean, and I'm proud to be part of that. And I think anyone who lives here should want to feel proud in their community as well. And that's what this ordinance helps do. I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
I'll second.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Grass?
Yes.
Mr. Heinecker?
Yes.
Ms. Altough Cordero?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
At this stage, if somebody would like to make a motion to adopt the ordinance identified as Lower Saucon Municipal Solid Waste Ordinance, which was as identified as last revised 6/23/26.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Grass?
Yes.
Mr. Heinecker?
Yes.
Ms. Altough Cordero?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. That concludes this matter. We can now move on to the next item.
Thank you. Next, moving on to developer items, we have resolution 60-26, which is Shaw 2168 Riverside Drive Planning Module Component Number 2. I believe we've all had that in front of us before. Brian, you want to go ahead and give us an overview of what's happening here?
Sure, I think we've seen this before, maybe they went to zoning, I don't remember, but they have, it's an apartment building on Riverside Drive that has gone through, got all their zoning approvals over the years. Part of that process is to construct a new septic system. It is considered a community system, 2,800 gallons a day, so it requires sewage facilities planning. Planning module has gone through all the review agencies and is ready for council's adoption. Following, assuming council approves it, DEP approves it, that authorizes the SEO to issue a permit for the system, and they can construct the new system.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to adopt resolution 60-26 for 2168 Riverside Drive Planning Module. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
And I have a roll call, Stacy.
Mr. Grass?
Yes.
Mr. Heinecker?
Yes.
Ms. Altough Cordero?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you very much. Next we have D&B Restorations LLC on Mark Holding Tanks for 2470 Apple Street. Applicant is requesting a waiver from the requirement of the sewage ordinance to allow for a holding tank system. Is anybody anybody here on behalf of 2470 Apple Street? No. Yes, okay. Do you have any comments to provide to us for this project? You're welcome to, you don't have to, so don't feel like you're obligated. I just want to offer it to you.
We've submitted everything to the township,
Okay.
and we've looked at every resource that we could possibly do, and this was the only possible thing that we could do.
Okay, thank you. I would entertain a motion for Lower Saucon to sign all necessary documents as outlined in the Hanover Memorandum to Scott Razak dated July 16, 2026, subject to the applicant meeting the conditions in the memorandum and subject to the review of the approval of township staff, engineer, and solicitor. Long-winded, but do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Can I have a roll call, please?
I'm sorry,
Can I ask-
Chad.
can I
Mr.
just ask
Becker?
questions?
Sure.
Just to understand this better. So I'm thinking this is a failed septic situation. Is that the deal?
Yeah, I mean, we think that's the bottom line. There was some work done on their current system, but they couldn't find a test site to put in a new system. So their consultant put together, and working with the SEO, that the only possible solution, because there's an existing home there, was to have a home.
And how do we keep track of these, or do we keep track of these?
Well, they are required to maintain an agreement with a hauler to come out and haul the sewage from this. They have to post cash escrow to guarantee that it's being done. And the tank has to have an alarm, so that an alarm will go off in the house if water
Isn't
level's
that
getting
normal
too
though
high.
in septic systems? Don't they have alarms? Or maybe
The
they-
pressurized
they
systems.
Remember that, right?
The pressurized systems.
Okay. Right, just trying to understand it.
And as a follow-up to Brian's answer, the applicant was required to sign an indemnification agreement, which they have done, as well as a holding tank operation and maintenance agreement, which they have done.
A lot of papers here.
Any other questions, or I would entertain a motion?
This satisfies all stormwater requirements. There's no negative environmental impact.
They're not really they're not constructing anything by doing this holding tank other than putting a holding tank in the ground, so there's no stormwater review.
Should we restate the motion, or do you want to?
All the questions, fine.
Okay. Can I have somebody to, we have one first and a second?
Yeah, first.
I say, I think we did.
Sorry, roll call, that's right. That's where it's
I
at.
think I seconded it, but.
Okay.
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Heinebecker?
Yes.
Ms. Uptown Cordero?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you very much. Next, we have St. Luke's Medical Office Land Development 2-24 preliminary/final plan extension. The applicant, which is St. Luke's University Health Network, is granting the township an extension under the municipality's planning code for a deadline of January 31st, 2027. Pursuant to that, there is no needed action by council or vote.
Just, Madam Chair, just so, based on some public comment earlier on this matter and the next matter, so the public is aware, under the municipality's planning code, the township has so many days to act on a submission under the MPC. If we don't act, it becomes a automatic approval. There are issues, things that come up in the review of the submissions, and in this case, the applicant is giving us the ability to go past that deadline. The township has no ability to say, no, we're not going to accept the granting of the extension. It's the applicant's right to increase the timeline for the review of their project.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Moving on to letter D, Lower Saucon Fire Rescue Land Development The same applies. Lower Saucon Fire Rescue is granting the township an extension under the municipality's planning code for a deadline of December 26, 2026. And duly noted from our acting township manager, Mr. Finnegan, on explaining that. There is no vote needed at this time. Next to township business items, we next have the Maury variance, 1917 Dartford Road. The variance hearing is opened at the August 24th, 2026 zoning hearing board meeting later this month. But it is already understood that that item will be continued to the September 28th, 2026 zoning hearing board meeting. Is there anybody here for 1917 Dartford Road? Would you like to come forward and explain your request for variance? If you don't have to, since you're here, I do want to explain to you what council's role is, and whenever there is a variance request, it goes to the zoning hearing board, okay? The way our council works is that when there is a variance to go before the zoning hearing board, the council has an opportunity to understand what your project is, and then we have the ability to then either support your project and tell the zoning hearing board we support it, to take no position, which means that we don't support it, we don't oppose it, we're not getting involved. Or in some cases, we have the opportunity to oppose your project, in which case we can do a number of various different things, including sending a solicitor or sending a letter, those type of things, but we don't get to make the ultimate decision about whether your variance is granted or denied. This is just the step in which council would be able to decide what it wants to do with respect to your variance. It would be helpful though if you could just explain what you're looking for. And the other thing I would also, what is usually what we ask when residents come before us, is if you've spoken to your neighbors about it. And if you haven't, I would highly recommend that you do. It's very helpful to the zoning hearing board if they know that generally the rest of your neighbors are happy with your project. And if there's any opposition, then you get a chance to understand that and work through it as neighbors. But anyway, if you'd like to come to the podium, you can either come to the podium or sit at the table, whichever you prefer. Just go ahead, state your name and just explain what your project is.
Bill Murray. We submitted our plan to remove the shed that is in the location of coming in our driveway, there's a shed there. We'd like to remove the shed and place a two-car garage there. With the garage attached with a little breezeway to the house, which we have a patio out back of our house that is open air. The patio's there, but it has no roof or shelter, so we can't use it if it rains or bad weather. And we'd like to have it attached to make it look more appealing from the street, like it's part of the house and not just a garage thrown at the side of our driveway. And in the pictures there, that shows what the back of it would look like.
And the reason for the garage is the fact that it is a ranch home, so it does have a garage currently, but due to the size of the cars currently, it doesn't really work with what is now available. So that was the other issue. It's not really a two-car garage.
It's like a one-door garage that says two-car garage, but you put the two cars in there, you can't get out of the car. But I don't know what they did years back. I guess they had smaller cars. But yeah. So that's kind of the gist of what we're proposing to do, the variance, and I believe it's the setback on the side of our yard. There is a building there, but it's I guess a movable building, so like it's not a non-permanent structure, so the garage would be permanent structure, the shed is not, so that has different code, I guess, for where the building structure can sit.
Okay. Tyler, do you want to explain your memo just briefly? what are the variances they're requesting?
Yeah, the first one is the side yard setback. They're going to construct a garage 6.23 feet from the side property line where a 30-foot setback's required. And they're requesting relief from the building coverage percentage. Right now they have 11.2% where 8% is the maximum, so they're slightly over already, and then they're requesting up to 13.6%. The original application also included a request from the impervious coverage, but upon looking further into the ordinance, there's a provision for houses built prior to March 31st, 2011 to allow for the maximum percentage allowed in that district as opposed to the lower percentage from the chart. So the chart states 20%, but the maximum in the district is 25%, so they're given that extra 5%. So the impervious coverage request isn't needed, so it's only 2 as opposed to 3.
Thank you very much. I don't see any issue with your project. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, we did, actually, because you mentioned about speaking to the neighbors, we did speak to our neighbor directly behind us that would be affected, and the one to the left of us looking at the house, and both of them were in favor of it. I do know one of them had written a letter if he cannot make it there.
When you say the left, is that the one that's closest to where the garage is? Where you
Yes, correct, yeah.
Okay.
And the neighbor to the right of us said she won't be at the meeting, but it doesn't bother her at all.
That's wonderful. I would just
Yeah,
suggest that whatever comments you have, and if they were kind enough to write a letter for you, that's wonderful. That you just make sure you alert the zoning hearing board of their approval of your project, because that may impact the decision-making of the zoning hearing board, but we don't get to decide. I would like to entertain a motion for, to take no position on this particular application, which means we either support or oppose your application.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Can I have a roll call, Stacy?
Ms. Uptown Cordero?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbach?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you very much, and good luck to you at, I believe you're going to the September meeting, so good luck to you on that.
Thank you.
Next, we have authorization for staff to circulate the official township map for appropriate parties and to authorize advertisement for a public hearing, which will be coming after we advertise our Twins of Richmond manager, because I am very grateful for him in alerting us to this issue and addressing it.
Sure. Thank you, Chair. The official township map has not been updated since 1974. So you basically, the old map had very few developments on it. As you can see, this new proposed map has added all the development that has occurred in the township since 1974. It also includes a legend in the bottom left-hand corner, which identifies roads, streams, also for different topographical features in the municipality, the recreation property owned by the township, farmland, property that's under farmland preservation, and also the FEMA floodplain map is laid in on top of it. So this would be to authorize the advertising of this in the proposed ordinance. By statute, we are required to send this proposed map to all adjoining municipalities and the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission and the Lower Saucon Planning Commission for their comments and approval of it. It has already been uploaded to the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission's website so they can get a jump start on this. So this, because of how long they have to comment, we will not be receiving comments back from the adjoining municipalities before the end of September. So this more than likely would be on one of the meetings in October to adopt. As I said, this has not been updated since 1974. I'm not gonna give Hunter any more ammunition and tell you where I was in 1974. But this is antiquated to say the least.
Thank you very much. Can you just, Stacy, can you scroll to the eastern boundary by the Lehigh River? I'm just curious, do you identify, if you go up, scrolling up, like, yeah, okay. Do you identify conservation easements on here at all? I think we're missing just that. I would just, if we can still advertise it with that amendment,
That's
that you.
labeled funny.
Farmland.
I was gonna
There's
ask
the
about
farmland
that.
preservation.
Yeah, but it's, I can see there are at least 2 parcels that are not hatched there that are conserved.
The farmland preservation easements that we got from the county are on there. The actual development right type easements, Act 319 is not on there. And if there's a
Our township
conservation
properties.
conservation easements are not on there. We talked about that, and staff is trying to accumulate a map of all of those, and it does not have to be part of the official map. You can have that on a separate map. You're probably better off having that be more accurate when the staff completes that review.
So the thought process was to have a second map that shows that. We currently are researching both our records and county records, because in some instances, we've already noticed a disparity between the resolution and the deed, so it's gonna take us a while to clean these up. But currently, there's an open space map in the township and an official township map. They're both antiquated and contained in the office.
Okay. I don't know what other members of council feel like. That would be the only thing I would suggest. And I don't know whether we can advertise it with, I mean, and I understand what you're saying, you don't have the information in front of you yet to really accurately depict the parcels on here, is that what you're saying?
No, we don't.
Maybe I would then say that there should be an asterisk on here that says this does not depict conserved land, or we have not identified conserved land, please refer to.
But it sort of includes some of our conserved land. Some of that is with this county.
Jay, the purpose of this map, I'm sorry, what is the purpose of this map? Is it a general map, identify zoning, what is the purpose of this map?
It's a record of usually what properties and streets and features in a municipality. Most municipalities, including Lower Saucon, I believe have 3 separate and distinct maps. They have the official township map, they have open space, an open space map, and they also have a road map that depicts roads a little bit differently that's on here. Are there any other maps that are?
Well, the official map is a tool the municipality planning code gives you, just like a zoning ordinance or a subdivision land development ordinance. Its purpose is to look at what the public owns, really, in the way of roads and land, and also gives you the opportunity to, if you are aware of future planning efforts in that regard, like if you wanted to say, this is the location we want to put our municipal building, that we want this road to go through here like this, so that there's a planning tool available so that as some of those lands develop, if it's contradictory to what you have planned for public facilities, it's an issue for the development of that tract.
So in your expertise, Brian, would the aforementioned conservation easements be placed on this map, or is that a separate map more than appropriate?
You could do that. I have seen them most of the time on a separate open space plan.
I had a question.
Go ahead, Laura.
So there was one parcel that had a weird coloring that I couldn't match up to the legend. It's on Countryside Lane, and it's the one across from the preserve, so it's kind of like orangish something with the hash. So I wasn't sure what that was.
Maybe it's, yeah.
This one. Just kind of aiming at it.
Just, yeah, that one?
I can't read.
Yeah.
You just have your cursor over it,
Pointing
right
at it, yeah,
there.
that one. It's
That
kind of
one.
like a funny orangish brownish color
Ag,
with,
Yeah.
which one do you think that is?
agriculture. Orange.
Go to the.
Oh, it's not ag security, that's like this down here.
Yeah, that looks like it's cross thatched, black.
Do you know what it is?
Not off the top of my head,
Okay.
I'll have to look at that, because these parcels and their designations pop up based on what the county information has.
Yeah, I just wondered if we were missing something in the legend,
It is possible that that maybe is the only one, so it didn't make the
Okay.
legend, but
because I don't know anything like what that would be over there.
yeah, I'll check it
Okay.
out.
Staff is checking it out to see if our legend does show it.
You know, it's kind of hard to tell too when you're looking on your screen, the coloring, but it's like, it's definitely different than the other ones.
I assume these are some standardized color.
I think they just picked colors and picked items. They picked different and cool.
Can you pick that out on paper? We can look on that.
It's this one right here that's,
She doesn't have it.
so it's very custom preserved.
It may just be the way it laid out, it may be the same as.
The scaling on it, on the hatch, maybe.
Yeah, right. I'll look. Thank you.
Okay. That's it. So you're not taking action on this, right?
We're
No, I was gonna entertain a motion to advertise.
I thought you wait till you get the feedback from the.
Or a motion to send it
municipalities.
to the group.
So the motion is sent to LVPC?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll entertain a motion to circulate the updated official township map to the appropriate parties and authorize staff to advertise for a public hearing. Like, so do both in one. But like Jay said, because of the circulation requirements on top of LVCC, we would get it back until October.
So if there's any changes that are gonna be made, they're gonna have to be re-advertised? Or we can incorporate that?
Hopefully they would be de minimis and they would not need to re-advertise it, and I don't see, I think the hatches, just double hatches as opposed to a single hatch.
I think it's already, I mean, it's just my perspective, but I think it's already identified, it's just that the legend doesn't, it could either or, but I just think it would be de minimis because it's already identified, just wasn't
Yeah.
labeled.
Or-
It is
or
in
just-
fact a separate
Yeah, okay.
type of parcel.
All right. I will make a motion to circulate the updated official township map to appropriate parties and authorize staff to advertise for public hearing.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Can I roll call, Stacy?
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbachner?
Yes.
Ms. Alcott Cordero?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Next, we have authorization to advertise for a public hearing, the amended stormwater management ordinance of chapter 137. We have, Brian, or somebody to give us, Brian?
So what precipitated this ordinance originally was related to our MS4 reporting to DEP. All the property owners that have regulated stormwater management permanent facilities are required to submit annual reports to the township, which we then turn around and submit as part of our MS4 permit to DEP. What we were finding is, despite numerous attempts by the township staff, some of these property owners are not returning those reports, and there is no consequences to that. So this puts a fine to that if they do not return those reports. while we were amending it over the years since we tried to consolidate everything into one ordinance in 2022, we realized after reviewing some plans that some portions of the newer regulations models from LVPC were not in the ordinance. So this ordinance puts them in. And also, we noticed some things that were missed, we think, during the original codification of the 2022 ordinance. So this corrects that and puts them in.
Thank you very much. Does any council members have any questions about this? I will take a motion for staff approval to advertise for a public hearing the amended stormwater management ordinance chapter 137. Is there a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
And roll call, please.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbechner?
Yes.
Ms. Top Cordero?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. Next, we have discussion and possible action on property identified as 2026-01. We will consider authorizing an appraisal to be prepared for the same property. So I have a motion to approve staff to obtain an appraisal not to exceed more than $5,000 on property 2026-01.
I will make the motion to have the appraisal done for this.
And I'll second that.
The amount not to exceed 5,000.
Thank you very much, Laura. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbechner?
Yes.
Ms. Top Cordero?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Does that 5,000 come out of the open space fund?
Yes.
Yeah, it comes out of the fund itself. Okay.
Thank you, Chad. Next, we have Resolution 61-2026, appointing members to the IPMC Board of Appeals. For everybody's understanding, we had just recently adopted the International Property Maintenance Code, which I think Jay had already identified. Almost every single municipality in the Lehigh Valley throughout the state have adopted that as the standardized tool by which zoning and code enforcement officers can utilize in order to ensure that township properties are maintained in the appropriate way. We adopted the International Property Maintenance Code. With adopting the International Property Maintenance Code, it allows for a mechanism by which property owners who feel aggrieved or disagree with the zoning officer's decisions, they have a right to appeal. So due process, folks. We want to have due process, which we did not have before. So this actually gives you more opportunity. The International Property Maintenance Code provides a mechanism, it requires a mechanism by which the township would have a board that would hear a grievance by a property owner who was issued a zoning violation for something on their property, or code violation. Code. Thank you. Tyler, am I explaining this well?
Yeah, essentially, the township has a similar board for the Uniform Construction Code as well, that allows for property owners or residents that have received a violation of the IPMC can then appeal if they disagree with the code enforcement officer's determination. We have, just for complete clarity, we have not issued any violations of the IPMC because I did not feel that it was right to issue violations if residents did not have the correct, or did not have a Board of Appeals to appeal the determination to. So once this Board of Appeals is actually set up, then the IPMC can be fully implemented. As of right now, we're not utilizing it because it's not fair to the residents.
Thank you, Tyler. I believe you brought this to our attention, so I appreciate that. And again, it provides another layer of due process if you don't agree with his decision, his or her, but is right now. Then you have the right to bring it before the board. It consists of 5 members. I know our township staff has advertised for residents to be on the board. There are 2 residents that have expressed interest and submitted their application. So we have those for consideration tonight. Because the board is a member, 5 members, the IPMC does allow for council members to serve on the board. Our intent or hope is that we can appoint council members as a temporary basis to have a board in place. But that as we get additional applications in from members of the public who hopefully have a building and codes background or construction background is one of the criteria we were looking for, then we would phase off the members of council so that it would be ultimately a fully resident run board. So this, I would entertain a motion, resolution 61-2026, which would appoint Todd Dunn and Jonathan Thompson to the International Property Maintenance Code Board of Appeals, with terms ending December 31st, 2028, along with council members Hunter Gress, Laura Ray, and myself.
And those terms end December 31st, 2027, or until 3 more volunteers come through, and we would take 1 council member off as each one of those individuals is appointed.
So I would entertain a motion to appoint those people.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
So hopefully between myself and Tyler, thank you Tyler, for explaining the situation, there's clarification, but are there any other questions from council before we take a vote?
What are the fees associated with appealing a decision? Is it dependent upon what it is?
I'd have to look at the fee schedule. I'm not sure that we have a fee set up for it yet, but if we would just have a blanket fee, we wouldn't have a rolling fee.
Okay.
Shouldn't be a fee.
At some point simpler to what we have already for the building code.
Yeah, it would be a similar cost to the variance application, where we would probably have either a blanket fee, or we can implement residential, which would be lower, and commercial, which would be higher, which is how we handle variance applications rather than.
And have there been any appeals made to the uniform building code?
As best I can tell, looking back through township records, at least in the last 20 years, there has never been an appeal of a decision on the UCC.
Okay.
But again, statutes required, it's not statutes made up by a municipality that given to us by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the federal government. We need to be compliant with those acts.
Sure.
Have a roll call, Stacy?
Sure. Mr. Heinecker?
Yes.
Ms. Altough Cordero?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Fress?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Resolution 62-2026, which is the local share, Monroe County local share account grant. It's been drafted for our approval to submit a grant for purchase of a wheel loader for the Public Works Department. Can I have a motion to approve Resolution 62-2026 for the LSA Monroe grant, purchase a wheel loader?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Altough Cordero?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Mr. Heinecker?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Resolution 63-2026, which is the resolution we modified earlier in the agenda. It has been drafted for approval for the purchase of public police unmanned aerial device of 5 solar-powered radar speed signs. It's my understanding those signs would be utilized by the police department to be placed throughout areas in the township strategically to help control speeding in the township. There was previously the motion for the unmanned aerial drone device. I can say that I've had conversations with our manager about that, and my hope was that we could try and address some other needs in the police department that may have a higher need than acquiring a drone. That was me personally, so I appreciate all of the time and effort that our police department has made in trying to, number one, identify new items and new technology that they can apply in their policing efforts in our community, and they're always dedicated to our health and safety and making our community a better place to live. So in no way, shape, or form do I want any member of the police department to feel that I do not appreciate their efforts and their desire to pursue those newer technologies. So I wanted to make that clear to our department, that I appreciate their time. I know there was one officer in particular who spent a lot of effort in investigating drones. The other item that I identified in that issue was we do have mutual aid departments that are very close to our township that I understand have been historically responding to needs in the community that have drone, that whenever we have an incident requiring a drone, that we've always had mutual aid respond appropriately for those. However, I am always open to the need for a drone in the future should those circumstances change. So I do appreciate and understand the need for the drone. I am thankful that they investigated that and then also investigated other items in the township that we could utilize to better reflect what's going on in the community. So I just wanted to make that statement for everybody's understanding if they saw the change in resolution. So the 5 solar powered signs are $6,666, and we would be applying for the Northampton County grant, which is a total of a maximum of $20,000. So I would like to entertain a motion to approve the resolution for the TC 600 radar speed signs.
I have comment. Do you want that before or after we read that?
It should be after a motion and a second.
Okay.
Yeah, because we changed the resolution already, so the resolution is just for the signs at this point in time.
Understood.
Is there a motion for the signs?
I'll make the motion to approve grant application for the radar speed signs.
I'll second.
Okay, go ahead, Heather.
So, what was the determination to have the signs instead of the drone made by the police department, or who made that decision? I don't know if that's a Jay question.
We just did.
We did.
I know, but who brought up the idea to have, instead of a drone, to have the grant go towards the signs themselves? I mean, who came up with?
After it was determined that we should not apply for the drone, I met with the chief and explored many different opportunities. Additional long guns for the squad, these signs, AEDs, multiple things, and at this point, we believe that this is the most appropriate one. And as I said, I don't even know who heard me earlier, but I want to make this comment. After the Boy Scout made his presentation and the contractor immediately offered help, I said, what did I say?
Timing is everything.
Time is everything in life. The officer that's usually on duty here tonight was not able to make it due to family commitments, and the substitute officer is the one that put together the drone stuff, so I want to publicly acknowledge his efforts because it was well thought out and a lot of research went into it, so I just want to thank him for his efforts publicly.
So, just for thank you for for your efforts on that. From my understanding, Jay, the determination to not pursue the drone was made by council in their vote earlier today, correct?
Correct.
I think it's a shame we missed out on that opportunity. It provides advancement for our officers, and it provides a much closer resource. I know with the fire department, we've used drones before on multiple incidents, and having a drone that's here with our police department that can get there in a matter of 5 minutes, rather than a 20-minute drive on top of the response time of whoever that drone operator is from our mutual aid, I think that would be a great benefit not only to the police department, but also to the fire department and emergency services as a whole here in the township. And I think that's a missed opportunity, and it's unfortunate that council does not want to go this direction.
Thank you, Mr. Rex. Any other members of council have comment?
I know that, after the Meadows Bridge reopened recently and seeing some other comments that come back from the residents, that speeding is a big concern for individuals. And I think that based on the public feedback that I'm seeing regarding flock cameras put up and the negativity expressed towards the intrusion of privacy and living in a constant surveillance state, that there's concerns with that front. So if you wanted to pick between the two of these, which one I feel the public would support, it's probably the speed signs.
I think the speed sign that constantly monitors your speed versus a drone that will be used on large incidents when it's needed and won't be constantly surveying. I think that's more of a surveillance state than the drone, but to each their own.
I don't know that these feedback any, I personally identifying information from an individual.
Oh, I understand where you got that information. I understand from our traffic studies brief, it wasn't an official traffic study, that determined speeding was a minimal issue on certain roads that were targeted for enforcement.
Yeah, the ones listed here are what, Meadows, Wassergass, Lower Saucon, Apple, Reddington, Apples Church, Black River. They're all the ones I drive on.
Slow down.
When the blue light goes off at me, then I know I'm doing a good job. Yeah, I don't know how to answer your question there, or
I
respond to your comment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything's necessarily directed at you. I think it's a shame missing out on, that provides officers an opportunity to advance, to have a new specialization. I mean, we have a Canon, we have a bicycle officer, or a few, and that's another way an officer could further their training and advance their skill set.
Yeah, I agree with that, but
And I mean, the speed boards, they show you you're going speeding, you're speeding, but they don't make someone slow down necessarily. I mean, there's speed limit signs posted on all the roads, and if we have people speeding, they're clearly ignoring them already, so just my 2 cents.
I slow down when I see my speed come on.
Okay, so we did have a comment from Hunter, we had a comment from Chad. Laura, would you like to go please?
yeah, I mean, since this all came about pretty quickly, I just did a quick search trying to understand better on the drones myself. And what I saw is that, so it's booming with the departments that are getting these things now. So they put in a special, the FAA put in a special waiver process for first responders to use these. Within a 2-month period after May of 2025, they granted 410 waivers. So it's coming in like crazy, but there's a lot of things that haven't caught up with all these drones going out there, and that is the guardrails in place to regulate how the information that they can get is used. So the drones themselves can have HD cameras, thermal imagery, license plate readers, AI-powered analytics. They can do automatic tracking. They can do facial recognition. And there's a lot of privacy concerns with this, and there have been arrests made erroneously with bad data from the facial recognition. Like they say, they're sold as an emergency response tool, but they can easily be abused. So I think that, you know, I'm not saying we should never have these, but I think we should maybe consider what sort of legal framework we'd want to have in place or ordinances to control these. I know on the news recently, there's and I don't know where it is, but with the flock safety where they have police department misusing it to track their ex-spouse's girlfriend or whatever the heck, it's like paid in place, but you know, things like that happen and you wish it wouldn't, but it could. So you really do need to take these things into consideration before you just jump in and do it. And some of the legal things I saw is like the Supreme Court decision regarding police aerial surveillance dates back to 1989, so old stuff. Technology's changed since then, so a lot more things are being done. Our state regulation it falls under Title 42, Chapter 67A. That was added back in 2017, so even since that time, you know, look how much the technology has changed. So I, you know, would just like to think before I'm not saying we're never going to have these, but we need to take these other things into consideration. That's all.
Thank you, Chief. I see that you're there. I just wanted to make one more comment, and then I would love to hear your input. The other concern that I had was I was looking at it from a frequency of need in our community, and as we move forward, looking at the drone program, it wouldn't be like a one-time purchase where you would have a drone and then you don't need to do anything further with respect to that device. And at least the research that I had seen, especially with the Lehigh County Drone Task Force, which is like a group of 20 specialized drone pilots who respond specifically to incidents that require drones. They indicated in at least the article that I was aware of, and I think all of council and the chief had seen that, it indicated that the drone's lifespan can be as short as 3 years. There's multiple batteries and equipment that need to go along with it, along with constant training for our policemen to keep up with not only the maneuvers and how to handle it, but updates in the fast-growing component. And my concern was when we have a lot of equipment for the police that we have to continuously budget for, if we add a new item into that rotation of items to be replaced, it ultimately increases the budget, because it's not like something that we're gonna always get a grant for. It's not gonna cover all of the training, the expense for those things. It's not gonna, and the next time we need to replace the drone, it's gonna compete with radios, AEDs, other items that our police need, as I see, as a necessary item. And I think that the speed signs, if we look at our statistics over the course of a year, the traffic enforcement of our police is a very high volume thing compared to incidents with drones. And I know I had a number of questions that I know may take time, and I don't want to take anybody else's, I don't want to take away from the important police work of that, but I think there were just a lot of questions around it that I was hopeful we could address, and like I said, in the future, perhaps could reconsider it, but for now, I appreciate the traffic signs. But Chief.
Just very brief, because I'm not going to belabor the issue, the decision was already made, but I want to make it clear. A drone could save an officer's life in a heartbeat. A solar speed sign will not. So that's the first point I'll make. We could go back and research for years and years and years. I started here in 1990, never heard of a drone. Drones are everywhere in law enforcement, okay, today. There's departments that have them. We talk about misuse of equipment. Everybody can misuse equipment, no matter what profession you're in. And these officers in this department are not gonna misuse information or equipment. My goal, and Officer Seeley, who I will commend for putting this together and coming to me and proceeding with it, is to make our police department the most progressive police department around. So we don't have to rely on other departments for equipment like this. We can have it at our expense. We train every day on certain types of equipment. We renew CPR, AED, firearms, control tactics. No matter what kind of equipment we get, we're gonna have to recertify, okay? Some of the things that this can be used for are barricaded suspects. Wow, we just had one in March. We could have used it. Armed or dangerous suspects, same incident. Perimeter containment. We used it there. We use it on different kind of crime scenes. Tactical overwatch of critical incidents. Same thing, we'll go back. Building searches. We do building searches. I wouldn't even know how many, but we get alarms every day and we go into a building. Not that we're gonna deploy a drone in there, but if we have a criminal incident where there could be somebody in the house, we're either gonna send a canine, or we're gonna send a drone if we have it. Surveillance of active fleeing suspects. We stop cars for speeding. They flee. We can set up a perimeter, we can activate or deploy a drone. Monitoring safety concerns at large events. We have 2 major events every year in Lower Saucon Township. Outlaw motorcycle gangs, 3,000, 4,000 people. Great spot to use it. We set up a command post already. Ideal, we could monitor it right there. Not to abuse the system, but to use it to save our officers for officer safety. Search and rescue. People with dementia, special needs, wander away from their house. Who gets called out? The fire department, prancing through the woods. The police department, prancing through the woods. Set up a perimeter, deploy a drone. So those are just some quick things that I want you to think about, what you're denying here and saying to push it off. I will be putting in for it at budget time, again, because we have all the information available with the proposal. And the other thing we can use it for is we have accidents. We have accidents 1, 2 a day, a lot of crashes. Fortunately, not a lot that are serious. And if they are serious, we call the state police in because of that. But we can use them to investigate crashes, crime scenes, documentation. So it's an important tool in our everyday job. And that's why the proposal was made. And I just wanted to come forward to state the record and make it clear. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief, I appreciate that. All right, so we've had discussion. Can I have a roll call, Stacy?
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
No.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Can I ask questions?
Sure.
Chief, you don't want the signs? What are you telling me from your level of need and expertise? Which of these things do you need?
My choice,
If we have an opportunity to apply for a grant this year for something, what do you want?
I would take that drone program in a heartbeat. Because I know the time that was put into it, we have the policies already, all we gotta do is change our names and put them in them, and they're already approved, meet the accreditation standards, we get the training off. That grant won't be approved until the end of the year. Timeline would be the first quarter of next year to our training. We just lost a guy. The guy we just lost was a drone operator. Could have came right on board.
Well,
Okay, but we can't control that, and I understand that, but the answer to your question, Mr. Heimbecker,
yeah.
is a drone program.
We've already changed
That's correct.
the resolution.
That's correct.
I was under the impression that the resolution was changed based on what was needed in priority by the police department.
Okay.
And that the request was modified to be radar speed signs, which I understand is an issue here, so I would support that. But if I'm being told that between the two of them, you say that that's what you need more, then I respect that.
So as an option,
We could change it back.
But they're already in a roll call. So,
correct, just so we're clear.
is there when's the timeline due date for these grants?
August 30th.
August 30th. Okay.
4 o'clock next Friday.
So, right now, it's votes 1-1. Hypothetically, if this vote ends up 2-2 or 1-3, it's gonna fail. You can then make a motion to add
The other one back.
the one back, and then do the same debate on that.
Really? But, because we didn't have public comment on the other part, so, right?
Well, no, you have public.
No, we had the public comment after we changed it, but the first one was advertised.
And if you want to err on the side of caution, you could always have public comment have be added back on.
I mean, I appreciate the chief's position on this and what he's asking for. I, again, am concerned with the budgeting needs of the township. And like I said, this particular item involves a lot more than just a one-time purchase, where and I understand there may be officers that already know how to operate a drone. The biggest item that I had asked was if we didn't, like the incident that we had earlier this year, my understanding is there was drone surveillance provided by the Pennsylvania State Police in that incident, or drone response. So my concern is if we have adequate drone response currently, it gives me pause why we would add that into the rotation of replacement items. I did ask the question, in the incidents that we didn't have drone response, did we ask for drone response from the drone response team that is available? Like I said, there are, my understanding is at least 20 drone pilots that operate indoor drones for incidents where you would want to use the drone for an indoor incident, where you wanted to do whatever for searches and rescues. That drone team responds to Music Fest. I don't know if we've asked the drone team to help us for for our hill climb item that was the other incident that I could completely understand the drone being very helpful for. So from my perspective, if we had a concern with response time for our mutual aid, like I understand Hunter said, well, if somebody could respond or deploy the drone in 5 minutes versus 20 minutes, that could change a circumstance. It absolutely could. I just don't know in any given circumstance, like right now, you have one drone, it has to be battery, it has to be charged all the time. So that's a concern. If you're using it at the daytime, how are you gonna have it available at the nighttime? How is it gonna be charged in time? There's a lot of questions for that, but I don't know. But the request that I had asked was, is there an incident in which we asked for drone support that we did not get drone support? And I don't know if we have that information, that would guide my decision making.
We would have to search 4,500 to 5,000 calls in 2 days to obtain any of that information, which I didn't have time and I wasn't going to assign that to one of my guys. The price quote for the drones is $13,526. It includes spare batteries. We have to charge our batteries for our AEDs each shift. We have to monitor our lights on our handguns at an annual. We have to charge our tasers, our portables. So this is no different, okay? This is just another piece of equipment and an added resource that can be used in a multitude of ways in law enforcement.
Are there any restraints on usage of it? for
We-
surveillance?
We would have a strict policy. Policies are drafted. Officer Sealy already obtained policies that I have. He has everything here as far as the proposal and the implementation, training and certification, structure, everything like that.
But that a warrant would be required
Now,
for surveillance?
well, we wouldn't use it for surveillance. If we had to do that, we would have to get a warrant if we're gonna send it into somebody's house to do that kind of
Drive
surveillance.
over private property requires a warrant?
If we're using it in an investigation, it all depends what type of incident it is. And obviously, we would get the approval from the district attorney's office if it was applicable.
I think that's some of the oversight that you mentioned.
Yeah, it was just stuff that I read that.
I will say, like from council's perspective, we did not receive the memo that outlined all of the pros and cons until after the agenda was published. And I think just as a learning experience, a learning exercise, all of these questions, I feel like if we had more time, because now we're on this time crunch, we want to give you a grant, we want to give you public safety equipment, we have till August 30th. We didn't have any of that information. We still don't have any of the information, and like he said, how is he going to gather the information in 2 days? I would love to have that information, and I said at the beginning that I don't feel like it's a closed discussion. I think that this is a learning experience, and we can gather the information to make everybody comfortable and move forward that way. I don't think you can always ask for it, like you said, you had already anticipated you were gonna ask for it in the budget then. So I don't
That's
really.
because I knew it was gonna be denied tonight, and I'm not gonna get into it. I just think it is a shame, just like Hunter said, that we're not gonna take this opportunity. You didn't have information on speed signs either until today or the other day.
Right, but speed signs are pretty, they're pretty, everybody understands what a speed sign does, we see it. Nobody has seen these drones in the township before. I don't think I've ever seen the drone operated even at the apple butter incident, so.
And nor would you have, because you weren't there and you wouldn't have been allowed in the perimeter. So I'm not gonna debate this with council. I respect your opinion, but moving forward, if this is denied tonight, it will go into budget from the police department. And I can tell you that the officers will understand where it came from. They know my goal and my objectives within the police department. Thank you.
Can I ask you another question, Chief? So this is just for one unit, right?
No, this is for multiple units. It's for
Oh,
two,
yes.
correct? Three. There's one for interior and there's two for the exterior.
Two for interior, one for.
Two for interior, one for exterior.
How do you not know these things? Public comment?
We got public comment.
So-
Of course not.
So right now,
Just to clarify where we are, we're still at roll call.
yes, we're still at roll call on the resolution for speed signs. And I think it was,
Are you gonna put the signs in the budget for next year if they're not put through?
Yes,
Or
I will.
something that you need? So either way,
Either way.
Can you say yes?
yes.
Just, one other
Oh, which one do we
clarification.
get more money from the grant?
Signs.
It's just basically a wash, but Victoria's point about the Lehigh Valley Drone Task Force, that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chief. Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, the Lehigh Valley Drone Task Force cannot be used for police investigative work. They are more for response for,
Emergencies.
like searches and rescues.
correct.
And missing persons.
Correct.
And crowd control, like they do Music Fest, right? That's not an emergency situation.
No.
But we could ask them to help us for our annual hill climb, is that right?
Good. But it would be much easier to have our department there and have it manned in the command post with the people we have there.
What's the matter with the hill climb?
Thank you. So we're in the middle of the roll call, I don't, Chad, you were the one that paused. The sign grant is for the full $20,000.
The sign grants for the full 20, and the other one is for 9,000. Oh.
9,000 of the
Correct.
county grant.
The county, so if we apply for the drones, we would get 9,000, we pay 4,500. If we apply for the signs, we get 20,000, we pay 6.
Correct.
Okay. That seems like a better deal. Does that make sense to you? To get more money from the county grant and then apply it into the budget for next year, if
You
we
can
feel
do
this
that.
is necessary?
What did you say, Jed?
Do that, and we'll put the drone in next year's budget and get a lot more information. So
I think that would be very helpful. And like I said, I think in this experience, I think everybody was trying to do the right thing. I think, you know, I rely on our police to give us what information about what they want. But there is also, I am very mindful of our taxpayers and the information that we need to do budgeting. So when I look at all of these things, it's very difficult when I don't have that information. Even at minimum, the very thoughtful memo done by the police officer was not provided to council
I'm gonna go puke.
when we saw the resolution. So all of that information is helpful, and I'm hopeful that that can instruct all of us moving forward so that when we have these kind of requests, we're not in a time crunch. But yeah. So we had a no from Hunter.
I'm a yes. I'm a yes on the grant for the signs because we get 20,000 instead of 9. And then we can talk about the drone for next year's budget.
Okay.
Ms. Alcott-Cordero?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-1.
Thank you. Now we have Resolution 64, 2026, Northampton and Lehigh Local Share Grant has been drafted for approval to submit a grant for the purchase of 2 Chevy Tahoes for the police department. We have all that information in front of us, so I will entertain a motion to approve 64, 2026 for the purchase of 2 Chevy Tahoes for the police department.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that motion.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbachner?
Yes.
Ms. Alcott-Cordero?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Next, we have Resolution 65, 2026, placing township items on municipal bid. We have public works vehicle with a minimum bid of $30,000. Can I get a motion to approve Resolution 65, 2026 for the placement of the public works vehicle on municipal bid for a minimum bid of $30,000?
I will make the motion.
I'll second that motion.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbachner?
Yes.
Ms. Alcott-Cordero?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. Next, we move on to miscellaneous business items. We have the July 15, 2026 minutes for review. I will entertain a motion to approve those council minutes.
Make the motion to approve the July 15th, 2026 minutes.
I will second.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Heimbachner?
Yes.
Ms. Alcott-Cordero?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Next, we have approval of the July 2026 financial reports. Everybody has those. I will entertain a motion to approve the July 2026 financial reports.
Make the motion to approve the July 2026 financial report.
I'll second.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbachner?
Yes.
Ms. Abchar Cordero.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, next, we're on to public comment, agenda and non-agenda items with a 3-minute limit. If you'd like to make a comment, now's your opportunity.
Dave Blouin, after listening to that non-debate, it's clear that you don't, Virginia, support the police. The bottom line is, if you were aware of what goes on in this township, you would be much more inclined to support them than to talk about it. The bottom line is, car stolen in my neighborhood, what got it? Ultimately, it was not only the license plate scanners where they saw it at a few places in this township, ultimately a drone and scanners in Philly got it, okay? So don't give me that garbage about it's not worthwhile, or you want to put a little sign up. The other thing is that fire that was off Meadows Road down there where the house burned down, don't look at that, look at me. I'm addressing you. And you're supposed to give me respect by your documents. The bottom line is that drone had been available, instead of getting 20 minutes for a truck to be on this scene, it would have been a few minutes. I guarantee that. By the way, an officer leaving, there, you just freed up $100,000. Yet, you're ready to spend millions of dollars on a stone barn that won't save any lives or anything else. To me, the thing that's important in here is that we have good police and we have them in our county. Unlike the library, which you want in Hellertown, unlike the fire department, which apparently is renting itself out to Hellertown, now you're going to do that to the police too? By shooting them, selling them out? I didn't mean shooting them, that was a misstatement. By selling them out? That's what it sounds like. I hope you have a new 100K cooking for a replacement officer, who, by the way, knows how to run those drones. This thing goes on and on. These are my notes that went through my head just sitting here. If I had 10 minutes, believe me, I could smoke you on this. Local police officer with drone operator ready to go in our township. Did you ever read all about these drones and what they're used for? And to sit there and say, Laura, that you don't see them, man, they're all over the place. You must have your eyes on the ground, not in the air. And I have to absolutely commend Chad for asking some of the key questions, because the public gets shot down in the Middle East and has no say whatsoever. And yet for you to take up 20 or 30 minutes, which you do, Bloviator, then you suck all the oxygen out of the air in terms of a real debate. Hunter, thank you for asking the questions. That's the kind of guy I want on my council. I don't care which side of the aisle he sits on. And I recommend that you guys read your documentation for a change instead of just having a good old time. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you for your comment. Next person, please.
Anne Marie Slavic, Lower Saucon Township. So recently I had a conversation with Catasauqua Borough, and I found out that the Copley allows Catasauqua residents to join their pool. And I said, well, how much do we have to pay? How much does Catasauqua have to pay? They said, nothing. The residents pay for their membership. Oh, wow, that's weird. So Lower Saucon residents who have much higher income average than Catasauqua, we reimburse Hellertown for their pool memberships. So when Hellertown calls, you people, the Democrats on council have no problem. Whatever Hellertown wants, Hellertown gets. Because we're a community, you say. We're a community and we just want to get along with our community. We want to get along with Hellertown. So whatever Hellertown needs, they get. They get money for the library, they get money for the pool, they get money for everything because they don't have any, so we have to provide it for them. So our taxpayers have to give Hellertown money. Next, it's going to be the fire department. And you're questioning the chief of police. You three people are questioning the chief of police about his activities and his procedures and his guys. and his roles. And I just think that from the IPMC board, which I believe that you people need to implement and a policy on that IPMC board, that you will have Republicans and Democrats. You will have as many Republicans as Democrats, and make it a policy that that board needs to have everybody represented, because I don't want these, you people are environmentalist wackos. There you go, I said it, you are. You're crazy. You want high grass for Lower Saucon, but you want these international standards for zoning, and then you have to have the garbage and the recycling standards, because as Jay says all the time, well, everybody else is doing it. Everybody else is doing it, so we have to do it, except the drone. The military uses drones, but our drones won't have battery life long enough to do anything. Does that make any sense? It doesn't. It doesn't. So now we have on the IPMC board, we have 3 Democrats who are known. Sorry, Hunter, I have to exclude you from this. 2 environmentalist crazies on the IMPC board from our council, which I don't think is appropriate at all.
Nope.
So you could just imagine all of you people out there who are going to get all kinds of harassments from the council that are on this IPMC board. And again, the police chief tells you what he needs, and you have to debate him, just like you debate the landfill, because you have expertise in running a landfill, and now you have expertise in running a police department, Victoria, which is a joke.
Next comment, please.
No, I'm not. Not today. Just in case you're interested.
Whatever.
That's a joke for all the people that used to party. I used to be a big pothead. I mean, when I got out of bed, till I walked through Harrison Morton, I used to be a big pothead. Anyway, besides that, now I'm a public commenter at township meetings, all because of what Jason Bananas started with the dump and brought me here. And someone, council, had used me and got me to do things that I'm still doing and refuse to quit, because you know what? I don't pick sides. I pick for the public, because I'm an American. I don't need no international zoning laws. I don't need no international laws. I don't need no Sharia law. I don't need no Muslims in my yard. So this last comment or discussion with the chief, who I kind of still have a bone with, this is like a two-edged sword. Because frankly, my opinion, and it's seriously my opinion, technology is going to kill us. Technology is going to drag us down the drain and end up killing us. Flock cameras, data centers, people with too much money that they don't know what to do with. All you got to do is look at the pond at the top of Reddington Road. We got a whole lot more problems in lack of water than we do many other things. As far as Chad going for the $20,000, probably a good move. As far as the chief's comments, he makes some very well made comments and understandable. My dad was a cop in the military, so I got my ass beat all the time. So numerous times they sit in my living room and review my camera footage. They review neighbors' camera footages. The Lehigh Valley guy has his drone all over the place. He's 2-3 accidents a day, so he covers stuff. I'm sure I can guarantee that I'll bet you 50% of the houses in Lower Saucon have cameras watching something. So it's, like I said, it's a two-edged sword. Did I read all the comments and stuff on Facebook and other things about cops breaking the law and doing stuff and hunting down their old girlfriends or or stuff they're not supposed to do? You bet. You bet. I'm a public monitor. When it comes to public, because I don't like government. I don't like government. Government wants to babysit us too much. I don't need to be babysat. Who needs to be babysat is the government.
Can you just wrap it up?
I can't ask for my 2 extra minutes?
You just have to wrap it up.
Well, there you go, that's my comment. And look at this, I'm the only one that followed directions again.
Thank you for your comment. Is there anybody else who would like to make a comment?
You get a pat
Anybody
on the
else?
back.
Ben,
Now, here comes Tony.
I
You have, I see that.
have a email that
Email.
was asked to be read into the record, so with your permission.
Go ahead.
First off, to the council, thank you for conducting civil, orderly meetings. It is refreshing that you have brought normalcy back to the township. As a retired high school librarian, I just want the township to know that the Halletown area library is more than just books. From January to July this year, they offered 245 programs covering all age groups. I attended a few with my granddaughter, well over 100 attendees to see exotic animals. There was grumbling from the last council meeting about services and cost. The Halletown Area Library offers free museum passes. I calculated a family of 4 making day trips to see these museums, and they could be saving $675 just by going in to check out the passes. Even though the library is located in Halletown, 2,722 Halletown patrons checked out books this year alone. So council, thank you for making this investment. Too bad we can't get back the $5,000 our last council donated to the Southern Lehigh Library, which, by the way, now that we fund Hal, we also can use these facilities at Southern Lehigh.
That's 50,000, not 5,000.
So if I misstated, it's 50,000.
Yeah.
Also, thank you, council, for having the mindset to think ahead and have a data center plan in place for the township. It is heartbreaking to see towns scramble to get ordinances in place. I also appreciate the social media notices I receive. I enjoy reading the newsletter online, hoping that you would consider mailing one in the future. After speaking to a few of my neighbors who are not aware of some awesome happenings, awesome things happening in this township. And that is from Diane Hollowell.
I knew it. Thank you very much for that public comment. Moving on to solicitor's report.
I have nothing, thank you.
Amir is not here. So we have council members' reports. Hunter.
Making me start?
Yes.
All right, not much. I attended National Night Out since last meeting. It was a great turnout. There was a strong showing from the police department and the fire department. I still think they cheated somehow at that tug of war. A little bitter about that. But it was a great event. It got a bunch of kids and families out interacting with the fire company and police departments and doing that community policing that helps build strong relationships between our police officers and our community. Really makes an effective police force. So I'm grateful to our officers who were there and Chief for helping do, I assume, a lot of the organization and all that fun stuff. I also attended Community Day in Hellertown. There was a showing from the Township Council, EAC, as well as Lower Saucon Fire Rescue. They all had nice tents set up, good show of information for the public, and it was a nice event overall. But other than that, I hope everyone has a good rest of their night, and that's all from me.
Thank you, Hunter. Laura.
Sure. Try to do them in order. Let's see, so back at the end of July, actually, I attended another PSATS webinar on naturalized landscapes. So it was good information that fits with our meadows and naturalized area ordinance that we'll be talking about in the future. I also attended National Night Out. It was wonderful again. I took some time to speak with the chaplain that works with the police department. I think we had approved that last year in the budget. I think it was something new we added as a service. So it was nice to talk with him and understand how the program works, and I'm glad that we have that. I attended, let's see, Community Day as well. I don't have the statistics, but the EAC table was promoting our compost workshop. That's coming up in October. They were also making mason bead houses as a free takeaway. So hopefully they made and gave a lot of those away. We had our Fire Services Executive Committee the other week. We did talk about the Southeastern Fire Station, which is in the planning phase right now. We also discussed the services with Dewey, so that's an ongoing negotiation and discussion that is going on. And let's see, also under fire services, the Lower Saucon Fire Rescue is having their book sale this weekend. Saturday it's 9 to 4, Sunday it's 11 to 3. Tell me where it is though, is it at Sauk? Lightsville, okay. And yeah, EAC, we met the other week as well. We said we're doing the signups for a compost workshop. That'll be at our October 13th meeting. And in September, on the 19th, which is a Saturday, from 9 to 12, we're doing electronics recycling here at the township. That's it.
Thank you, Laura. Chad?
Okay. Well, we are getting dangerously close to the end of summer. Don't remind my kids, but school starts again on Monday, the 24th. And so I'd like to remind everybody out there about bus safety, to come to a full and complete stop. Take care of our kids out there. Do you know I went to school to become a magician? Hunter, did you know that? I went to magic school, but they kicked me out.
Wait, Hunter said he did know. He did know.
You knew that?
Oh, he did know. Oh, I
But
was gonna say.
yeah, they kicked me out. I failed because the exams had too many trick questions. Come on.
His dad joke.
Okay. Do we know
Stacey's laughing.
Black River Road, do we have a date on when that's getting reopened? Thank you, Dave, I appreciate that. Do we have a new date on Black River Road at all?
December.
December?
That's what I
Okay.
heard.
That's what we heard? Okay. What did I do last night? I don't know, let me go back here. Historical Society meeting, July 20th, talk about Heritage Day for 2027. Looking for a theme, ideas to bring the community together for that one, celebrate next year. The Rail Trail Committee meeting, Oversight Commission was canceled on the 27th. I attended the Hellertown Historical Society's meeting on the 28th for their breakdown and debrief from their Heritage Days and upcoming plans for next year as well. Try to have a better collaboration between the various agencies and groups that are in charge of maintaining, preserving, and protecting our heritage and culture in this area. August 3rd, the Parks and Rec meeting was also canceled, which we didn't get to see the bat houses that night, which was brought tonight, but I'm really happy to see Sean with that program. National Night Out again, coming up on that, the Tuesday afterwards. That was a really good time. I appreciate the police department and the chief for putting that all together. It was a fun event for the kids. The 7th, went on a native invasive species walk with the Wildland Conservancy at Black River Sanctuary right up here. Educational, informative hour-and-a-half, 2-hour hike up through there to learn about invasive species and some restoration projects they're doing up there. The EAC meeting we had on the 11th, Laura's already talked about the open space educational session we're having on September 8th. The recycling event is September 19th, and the compost bin workshop that we have on October 13th, which you can sign up online. It would be a $20 fee, and you get the compost bin for that. Let's see, what else? Community Day, that was fun. I was out there representing the township, as well as at the EAC. We were doing these, I brought one along. We were putting these mason bee houses together with the kids. One of our EAC members, Allison, pulled all these tin cans together, and then she cut these bamboo sticks. And so you put them in there, and then you attach this to a post, and it provides a habitat for an imported native pollinator. So that was really a lot of fun working with the kids for that. And lots of community organizations, the library. It was a good event, a lot of people. I was just on a webinar with Penn State Extension with talking about large-scale solar, learning more about that and how it can be used effectively, especially in agricultural environments. And today I had a conversation with the Minor Center and had a nice little chat about the report that's coming up, and we'll have a special meeting on that next week. Upcoming, on the 24th, Lehigh Valley EAC is hosting a lunch in Whitehall that'll be in attendance too. There's the Rail Trail Oversight Committee on the 24th. Penn State Master Watershed Stewards Tap Talk on wetlands, water quality, and purple martins on the 25th. The 26th is our workshop meeting that we'll have here, correct? Is that 6:30?
Correct.
Okay. The 31st, we will have our Lehigh Valley Planning Commission meeting. That is what time?
6:30.
6:30 at the high school.
Correct.
Correct, again, in the big auditorium, in the theater, yeah. On the 1st, I'm attending a PSATS training session. Thank you, Stacy, for signing me up for developing township budgets, getting ready for budget season. And then we come back here again on the 2nd for council, so I can see all your lovely faces again. And that's it for me. Hope you have a good night.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you all of council for reciting all the things that happened. So it means that I don't need to say as many things. I was at National Night Out, and I thought it was a wonderful event. I can say that our community policing is one of the strongest things that we have, and our police are wonderful doing it. National Night Out is no exception, and she does a wonderful job with that event every year. This year was no exception. I also did Community Day. I thought this was a really nice thing. We haven't had tent at Community Day in many, many years. I do want to have a special shout out to our staff because it was a collaborative event with Stacy and the other members of our administrative staff in putting together different items that we had available for the community. We had coloring sheets and crayons. We had stickers. We had lollipops, our receptionist even, and more staff. I don't want to miss somebody, but they put together like boxes and boxes full of lollipops with little taglines on it. I forget, what was the tagline, Stacey?
Thanks for popping by.
Thanks for popping by. It was so cute. We had pens. There was like pens and different notepads, different giveaways. We did have a lot of traffic at Community Day, and the biggest thing that came to my attention was that people, our community is Saucon Valley, and we traverse between Hellertown and Lower Saucon so often that nobody even knows where they live. Whether they live in Lower Saucon or Hellertown, a lot of that has to do with also your address, because we don't have a Lower Saucon post office, so there is no Lower Saucon when you put your address down, and people are moving in and out, and they think they live in Hellertown, or they don't know. I want to thank our staff especially for putting that whole project together. The tent and everything was new, and our presence there. Jay also for coming and attending that was very helpful. So I thought it was a wonderful event. Again, with our presence and the community interaction, it was very obvious that our attendance was important. There were other elected officials there, lots of community worship, houses of worship, and small businesses and organizations that presented. Fire company, Hunter's always doing double duty, both at National Night Out and at Community Day, representing not only the fire company, but also the township. So thank you, Hunter, for doing all of that. And to our fire for representing and demonstrating at that event also. I did attend a chairperson's retreat in State College. It is the first time PSAT's had such a retreat. and changing of the times or sign of the times, what you want to call it. But a heavy portion of that retreat focused on public safety at council meetings and safety of council members and council chambers and buildings. So that was something different that PSATS has started, and I was thankful to have attended that and bring the information from that conference back to our community so that we can be better prepared. I attended that earlier this month. And then lastly, to highlight, because I know we're at the end of our meeting tonight, as many of our people who come to our meetings regularly here tonight know, at the beginning of the year, we did approve projects with the Minor Center out of Lafayette and the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission to do 2 separate studies, which I believe are the first the township has ever undertaken to look at our operational and our financial structure, as well as our zoning and land development, to help us prepare for the future of what Lower Saucon looks like. We all cherish our community, and there are things that we like about it, but we also need to be mindful of how we're planning for the future. And I thank the community for their participation thus far in the surveys and the community meetings, and we are moving into phase 2. But if you'd like to know what's happened the first half, phase 1, please come on August 26th, next Wednesday, special council meeting. It is a workshop. There is no council action being taken that evening, but if you want to know what the Minor Center is doing and what their findings have been thus far, please come and listen, because they will be giving an in-depth explanation of what they've been doing. That is the financial and township structural assessment that they are doing. Lehigh Valley Planning Commission is also coming that evening to provide the results of their community meeting they had back in March, and also the public survey that was disseminated to the community. They will be able to provide statistics and information on the community and their interaction and feedback, but also a lot of statistics on just what is our township made up of. You know, how many people work here, how many, you know, what kind of housing population do we have, what kind of commercial development do we have, where are our corridors, all of that. Please come on the 26th to learn what they've been doing. They will be giving feedback to council. We will hear it. We will have questions for them, and then residents will also have an opportunity to interact with those 2 representatives and ask questions. So that is a very unique experience, and I encourage people to attend. We have Monday the 31st, which is phase 2 of Lehigh Valley Planning Commission's assessment on land development and zoning. They will be, again, at the high school, like everybody said. If you had come to the first workshop, you would know that there were different, I would call them pods, throughout the auditorium, where there were 8 to 10 people in each pod. We had approximately 80 people attend that meeting, but each pod had somebody from LVPC there who was gathering information and collecting the input of every person that attended, and that is really guiding their recommendations that council will get the rest of this year. So if you want to have your input heard, please attend on August 31st so that you can share your feelings with Lehigh Valley Planning Commission and learn about phase 2. That is it for me. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Adjourn?
I'll second the motion.
Do we, what time do you have to be?
Good.
You're good. You're good. Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. See you hopefully August 26th.
Don't forget, it's still live on YouTube and it's still live on Facebook. And when the camera's converted, it'll be on YouTube. Come visit me. Come support the locals.
Did you have anything to say? You usually tell me about this.
Where's the tissues?
Listen, that's payback for my sprinkles.
I got one.
You're gonna-
Oh,
I'm gonna send you those. So that you don't have that as a please.
You're something.
Yeah. There's always something to do. Excellent.
Oh, it was nice to see you show up. I didn't think you were coming.
Nice to be here.
Nobody comes no more except him.
Somebody said you weren't coming, and I was heartbroken. I went down and had a couple of beers.
And you drove here?
Well, I don't drink.
It's nice that we don't have to see Diane Hollowell, but she has to be heard.
You know what? You know what? If she can do that, I can really write a long. What the hell is this?
But I'll send an email out.
I will not ask him now, but I will follow up and ask him, what the hell's this crap?
What crap you talking about?
She writes it, she sends him an email and he reads it.
Yeah, she's allowed to do that.
She's so important. Let's try it one day.
Let's try it, yeah. Is there a time limit?
I'm her entertainer every morning.
She's,
Oh, no, she's in my Facebook friends list. I mean, we just battle it out. I think it's funny. Like anybody's gonna convert me. Thanks for coming.
From there, just went to grab
Did you do this one already? We didn't date it or anything. I know you like to take pictures.
So I hold it sit down to it. Much more. And it took about a minute and a half. Then they were coming over, looking at it, and they turned the house. I looked at it, I didn't think it was really good. It's chilly out there. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
One of the old fashioned troops that we have now.